And we are back. It's McCowan, it's Shannon with you, and we are joined today by the new general manager of the Calgary Flames. Craig Conroy is with us. Well, first of all, congratulations on the gig.
Oh,
It's
thank you
been a
very much.
while, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Have you settled in now? Do you feel comfortable in the job that you have ahead of you?
You know what? I would be lying if I said I feel comfortable, but it's been so busy. It's been good. Our amateur meetings were here, and then we have a lot of work. But next week will be a little bit easier. I'll be able to kind of make more phone calls, get back to people, and really start digging in on stuff.
How much of this, as you look ahead, is you and what you are and what you want to do and what kind of person you are, and how much have you been influenced by the many general managers you have worked with over the years?
I think I've been fortunate. I've been, when Jay Feaster was here, he let me do a lot. And then when Brian Burke got here, you're taking things from each one. And then Brad Treliving for the last 9 years, you take, and the goods and bads that are happening behind the scenes and how decisions are made. And you're like seeing where things worked and where things didn't work. And they all had a special skill set. I think they all had a different way of doing things. And, you're kind of pulling from all those and trying to come up with how you want to run things. It's going to be a little different, but each of them had things that they did really, really well. And I'm going to try to pull on their knowledge and their experiences.
I
What'd
don't
you
want to
learn
be on
from
the
Brad
spot, but
Treliving?
is there one guy that you've tried to pattern yourself after? Was there one guy that you respected maybe more than others?
Well, I think you respect them all. They all were great to me. I mean, I think Berkey was interesting. You learn a lot from Berkey from behind the scenes where you really believe, okay, this is how it's done, because Berkey has such conviction. This is the only way to do it, Connie. This is it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But with Tree, I just know how he had a pulse on everything. He had always on the phone. He always in touch with the teams, and he really had a good feel. Not that we're going to be in on every deal, but he never missed anything. He
Right.
always knew what was happening in the league. And I think I definitely want to, that was nice. That was a real strength of Trees, I thought.
Sure.
What do you see then, Craig, as your strength in all of this?
I think probably.
I mean, it's hard to brag, it's hard to push yourself, but you had to sell yourself to Don Maloney. What do you think your strengths are?
I feel like I'm a good leader. My communication skills, I get along with people. Hopefully I can bring the team together. I always felt when I was a captain here or on different teams that, I can bring people together and we can all go in the right direction. It's not just about me. It's not me being the GM and the coach and the players. We're just one team. And I want to make sure my team feels that everybody's in this together. We win together, we lose together. That's how it was as a player. And that's kind of what I want to bring. And a positive attitude. I want to have fun. This is a game. I want to have fun.
Where'd that come from? Where did that attitude, when you look at how long you've played the career growing up in upstate New York, playing at Clarkson, where did that positive attitude come from?
Well, I think it's my family. I mean, you know what? It's always very supportive. We're close knit. We're always together, and we just like to have fun and enjoy being around people. And that's the other thing. And then as far as the hockey part, I mean, Daryl used to sometimes get on me like, "Why are you always smiling?" I'm like, "I'm playing in the NHL, Daryl." Like, that's why I'm smiling. I never thought I was going to play in the NHL. This is a great life. So I had fun coming to the rink every day, and I really enjoyed my time. And I'm gonna bring that same enthusiasm up here, and hopefully it's contagious.
You've got a group of people that you will be responsible for, who wear normal clothes when they come to work every day. But do you think you'll be the kind of general manager who will communicate with the players on a regular basis? Do you think you'll have an intimate relationship with them?
I think communication, I think the players want that nowadays. When I started in Montreal, Serge Savard, I'd see Serge Savard, but I actually wouldn't like talk to Serge Savard.
Exactly.
But players want to do that now. They want to ask you questions. They want to be able to come to your office and ask questions if something's going wrong. And I want to know. A lot of times if I'm upstairs and they're down in the locker room and there's a problem, I'd rather have someone tell me so we can kind of put that to bed before it really festers into something that's going to be harmful to the team. So communication is definitely a part of it. I don't want them I don't think it's going to be we're buddies, we're not going to dinner, stuff like that. But I want them to know if they have an issue, family, person, whatever it is, they can come and we can talk about it.
How would you define the process you went through to from that moment Don Maloney had the announcement that Brad wasn't coming back and they were looking for a new manager? Did you feel you had the inside track?
Well, it was surprising the morning that Don told us that the Brad wasn't coming back because, I always thought Brad was coming back. I just thought it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. So the morning that it happened, I was shocked, really. So at that exact moment, I didn't think anything. And then as you're sitting here, you're like, I hope I get an interview and a part of the process. And, and then you start thinking, man, I think I would love to get this job.
Your first responsibility, I guess, is to figure out who your new coach is going to be. How far down the road are you on that, would you say?
I'm out, reaching out, getting permission from people to talk. And then I'm hoping to start next week. Next week would be the goal. It's been real busy with the amateur scouts being here and just to get the permission to make sure we're going through the right channels to be able to interview guys. So next week it should start, and hopefully, I'm not going to rush it though. I want to make sure, we get the right person. So, but next week it'll start.
Do you need a coach by the draft?
I think I'd like a coach by the draft. I think our players that I've talked to, one of the questions is they'd like to know who the coach is going to be. But I said, I have to take my time. If it's by the draft, that'd be great. I'd love to have him with me at the draft for sure. That would be a goal. But with the combine, with everything coming up, it's going to be busy, and I just don't want to rush it just to do it. But if I could, it'd be amazing.
So I assume that, I don't know whether you do, but there's probably a piece of paper someplace with the things on it that you want in your head coach. I wonder if you'd be willing to share any of that with us. Like, what kind of guy do you think you should have behind the bench?
I want a guy that can communicate, inspire our team. I think someone that can inspire a team is big when, and not out of fear, but out of, they want to do it for them. I think I see some coaches around the leagues that I watch from a distance that I'm like, hey, I want to play for that guy. Like, that would be fun to play for. I want him to have an atmosphere where it's fun, but I still need him to hold players accountable. I always think accountability is the biggest thing for the players, and we want to be held accountable. We want to know what we've done right and wrong. And I also want to play with maybe a little more offensive flair. Let them be creative. They're such special players now in the way the game and the rules are. Offensively, I like to let them see that creativity come out, but kind of from the red line back, I still want structure. I think maybe being a defensive forward, all my career, I want structure, and I want to know where everybody should be on the ice so we can get our job done. There's no second guessing, and then we can go back on offense and have fun.
Where does experience at the NHL level for your coach fit? Is that important to you? Do you think it should be important?
Well, I think it would be nice. It would be nice to have a coach that's had some experience in the NHL, but it's not going to be everything. Because the one thing I did say in the press conference, and I do believe, is I want to grow with this coach. We're a team. We need to communicate. We need to be, not that we're always going to be on the same page, but we need to have a vision of how we're going to get this team to the next level together. And he might say, I need a certain type of winger. And then that's my job to go out and try to find it. And I want to be able to talk about that and have that relationship, and let him know what's going on and kind of work together rather than just, being a little separate or, I'm doing one thing and we're not on the same page. I want to be on the same page moving forward.
Do you want to talk to your coach every day?
I'd like to talk to him probably every day, but it doesn't have to be. I said I'd like to go with the coach, especially when we have build that relationship early, but I don't think I have to go on every road trip. I think sometimes you can have the boss around too much, and I think there's going to be a fine line. I think I'm going to be there, and then hopefully we have that relationship where we want to talk every day.